Maayong adlaw! Welcome to Liboron Elementary School Kindergarten Simulation and Distance Learning Modality. Ang kindergarten class sa Liboron Elementary School pinanguluhan ni Mrs. Ana Lubitokmo uban sa suporta sa mga kaubang magtutudlo o giniyahan sa mga immediate heads nga sila Mrs. Cirila L. Buhayang, School Principal, Dr. Juvie D. Ayenza, District Kindergarten Coordinator, Dr. Gemma Aniceta N. Ladroma, Public Schools District Supervisor, ug Dr. Carmela Ristificar, Kindergarten Education Program Supervisor, nakigduyog sa tinguha sa tibuok Department of Education nga makahatag og dekalidad ng edukasyon bisan pa man sa pandemya nga atong giatubang karon. Atong nga mahinumduman nga tunga-tunga sa Marso niining tuiga, kalit nga nahunong ang naandan nga pamaagi sa pag-eskwela tungod sa pagkalap sa COVID-19, dili lamang dinhi sa atong lugar, kundi sa tibuok kalibutan. Ang maong klase sa virus, dali lang makuyanap, pinaagi sa mga droplets nga magagikan sa atong baba o ilong. Tungod niini, gilikayan ang panagtapok-tapok sa bisan asa, hinungdan nga nakahukom ang gobyerno sinuportaan sa DepEd nga ikanselar una ang klase. Kini nga lakang gihimo pagpanalipod sa mga kabataan ug magtutudlo sa maong makalilisang nga virus ug sakit. Human niini nga lakang sa gobyerno, ang DepEd dili nga nangita og mga paagi aron mapadayon gihapon ang pagtuon ug pagkat-on sa mga kabatan-unan bisan pa man niining dakong hagit nga atong gisagubang. Abtik nga nagpagawas og Learning Continuity Plan ang Division of Bohol, pinanguluhan ni Dr. Bianito A. Dagatan alang sa pag-abli sa bag-o nga tuig school year 2020 to 2021. Sa tulonghaan sa Liboron Elementary School, dali nga ni-coordinate ang school principal sa mga magtutudlo kabahin sa mga butang nga angayan nga andamon ug buhaton subay sa mando sa atong departamento. Ang pamaagi sa pag-enroll sa kindergarten gisugdan sa paki-coordinate sa mga barangay officials kabahin paghatag sa mga Learners Enrollment Survey Form or LESF ngadto sa mga ginikanan nga buot mo pa-enroll sa ilang mga bata sa Liboron Elementary School. Tungod sa suporta nga nadawat gikan sa mga barangay officials sa Liboron, Catigbian, Bohol, karon nga tuig adunay 23 ka mga kindergarten learners. Kini nagpakita og 28% nga pag-uswag sa enrollment sa kindergarten bisan pa sa maong pandemya. Gamit ang nakalap nga mga impormasyon gikan sa LESF, nakuha ang ngalan, adlaw nga natawhan, ubang personal nga impormasyon, mga available devices nga posibleng magamit sa distance learning modality ug ang learning modality nga angayan ug posible nga gamiton sa maong tinun-an. Tungod niini, nahibaw-an nga kadaghanan sa mga tinun-an sa kindergarten nipili sa blended learning modality. Apan, tungod kay daan naman nga nipasidaan ang atong halangdong Pangulo sa Pilipinas nga walay face-to-face session sa mga tulonghaan hangtod madiskubre ang vaccine, ang eskwelahan nakahukom nga ang second most preferred modality ang pagagamiton, mao kini ang modular. Human nga nasuta ang learning modality nga pagagamiton sa kindergarten class, dayon nga ni-request ang magtutudlo sa mga gamit nga angayan nga gamiton sa pag-implementar niini nga learning modality. Kini mulangkob sa printer, ink, bond paper, glue, stapler, gunting, construction paper, ruler ug uban pa. Kini nahimong posible pinaagi sa school MOOE ug ubang donations gikan sa mga manggihatagon nga kaila ug higala. Kabahin sa lakang ug mga pamaagi sa pag-orient ug pag-familiarize sa mga magtutudlo sa DepEd Catigbian District, si Ma'am Juvie Ayenza, District Kindergarten Coordinator, nagpahigayon og face-to-face conference sa mga magtutudlo sa kindergarten. Siya nagpahibalo kabahin sa maong panagtapok pinaagi sa text, chats ug uban pang media. Tinguha niini nga mas mapalawom pa ang kaalam ug abilidad sa mga magtutudlo sa kindergarten sa pagpadayon sa paghatag og dekalidad nga learning experience sa mga gagmayng bata bisan pa man sa pandemya. Human niini ang atong magtutudlo sa kindergarten abtik nga nangandam sa mga kinahanglanon para sa pag-implementar sa bag-ong learning modality sama sa pag-download, pag-print o pag-reproduce sa mga official nga modules o kindergarten learning experience packet, buluhat tong papel ug stories, paghimo sa mga instructional materials, paggama og parents checklist ug parents guide, pag-andam og drop boxes ug uban pang mga gamitunon. Sa naandam na ang mga kinahanglanon, si Ma'am Ann nagpatawag og usa ka parents orientation. Gipahibalo niya ang mga ginikanan pinaagi sa text, chats ug paghatod og sulat. Tumong niini nga mahatagan sila og dugang nga kasayuran kabahin sa modular learning modality. Sa maong orientation, hugot gihapon ang pagpatuman sa mga standard health protocols sama sa pagsulob og face mask, pagkuha sa body temperature, hand sanitizing, ug physical and social distancing. Sa maong parents orientation, gipasabot kung nganong modular ang modality nga gi-adapt sa eskwelahan. Gipasabot usab og maayo kung unsaon paggamit sa mga modules, buluhat tong papel, stories ug uban pang mga gamit. Gipasabot usab ang systematic nga paagi sa pagkuha ug pag-uli sa mga modules ug buluhat tong papel kadto sa mga drop boxes. Pinaagi usab niini nga orientation, gi-emphasize ni Ma'am Ann ang importansya sa pagtinabangay ug panaghiusa sa mga magtutudlo o ginikanan sa pagtudlo sa tagsa-tagsa nila nga mga anak sa ilang mga balay. Para mas mahatagan og konkreto nga kahibalo ang mga ginikanan kabahin sa bag-ong sistema sa pagtudlo sa mga kabataan, ang kindergarten class nagahimo og usa ka simulation sa pagkuha ug pag-uli sa mga modules ug buluhatong papel. Hugot gihapon nga gisunod ang health protocols sa paghimo niini. Sa kadasig nga gipakita sa atong gobyerno o sa Department of Education nga mapadayon ang pagtuon sa mga kabataan, nubanan sa hugot nga suporta sa mga magtutudlo, kinikanan, tinun-an ug mga stakeholders, mamahimong posible ang paghatag og maayong nga kalidad sa edukasyon sa atong mga kabatan-unan. Ang magtutudlo, mga ginikanan ug mga tinun-an sa kindergarten class sa Liboron Elementary School malaumon ug makanunayon nga nangamuyo sa atong labaw nga makagagahom nga mahabalik na sa normal ang tanan aron atong masud-ong pagbalik ang mga kadasig, pahiyom, katawa ug katsadya sa mga bata nga makighimamat sa usag-usa sulod sa atong mga classroom. Ang tibuok Liboron Elementary School kanunay nga magmapasalamaton sa mga tawo nga gihimong instrumento sa Ginoo aron mapadayon ang paghatag og maayo nga edukasyon sa mga bata nga gustong mutungha niini. Sulong edukalidad, Aim High, Liboron Elementary School.
Welcome to Catigbian West Central Elementary School of Poblacion Weste, Catigbian, Bohol. Simulation for grades 1, 2, and of learning materials. All learners were allocated of MOE budget for the color-coded plastic folders, reams of bond paper, and bottles of ink for the printing of modules and activity sheets. Protection against.
Good day to all. Welcome to Alegria Elementary School, Catigbian District, Distance Learning Simulation. Currently, we are facing this new challenge brought about by this unforeseen global health crisis, the COVID-19 virus. Our school children, one of the most vulnerable groups in our society, faces the greatest impact of this pandemic in terms of their future learning. But we at DepEd, we ensure that no children should be left behind in terms of education. Education must continue in spite of what we are experiencing right now. With that, the Department of Education carefully planned and recommended various learning delivery modalities following the health protocols given by the IATF. The opening of classes was set to start on August 24, but because of the COVID-19 cases in our country continued to rise, President Rodrigo Duterte deferred the opening of classes to October 5, giving the teachers and learners adequate time to be properly equipped to adjust this new learning environment. The upcoming opening of classes is possible in spite of this threatening virus through the profound effort of our education leaders, spearheaded by Secretary Leonor Bunes, our school's division superintendent, Dr. Bianito A. Dagatan, our PSDS, Dr. Gemma Aniseta and Ladroma, other stakeholders and partners. Learning Continuity Plan, or LCP, was crafted and presented to us by our school principal, Mrs. Sorella L. Buhayang, during our virtual meeting in preparation of the opening of classes for school year 2020-2021. It was then presented to the barangay officials for their support and then to the board of directors. Oplan BB, or the Brigada Eskwela and Balik Eskwela implementation, was also the priority of the said meeting. Supplies and anti-COVID paraphernalia for the opening of classes were made available through the school MOOE. As preparation for the remote learning, teachers attended different webinars to capacitate and prepare themselves in this new learning environment. Through the use of social media like Facebook, Messenger, and SMS, parents and guardians were informed about the procedure for the remote enrollment. This includes the getting and retrieval of the LESF in the different puruks with the help of the barangay officials and barangay health workers who played a major role in mobilizing the learning paraphernalia. After the retrieval of the LESF, data was gathered on the use of the distance learning decision tree. Our school consolidated the different learning modalities wherein 73% choose modular distance learning and delivering the lesson. Organization of classes were done by the respective teacher advisors. It also includes the inventory of learning resources like books, labs, and modules. The teachers communicated the parents and guardians through the use of social media for the distribution of the learners' activity sheets, home-based schedule, parents' guide, and checklists were also given in order to monitor their children's learning outcomes. Daily tasks of teachers were listed in the teacher's weekly plan, which served as their guide for their daily routine. Labs and modules were reproduced and prepared by the teachers and packed them in color-coded drop boxes. Aside from the labs and modules, the grades 4 to 6 teachers also made digital lessons for the learners to view at home.
Good day, my dear grade 4 pupils. How are you today? I hope and pray that all of you are in good health. Welcome to our video lesson in mathematics. I am teacher Marcela T. Tasik. Let us now start our lesson. Lesson 1. How to visualize numbers up to 100,000 with emphasis on numbers 10,001 up to 100,000. Objective. The learner should be able to visualize numbers up to 100,000 with emphasis on numbers 10,001 up to 100,000.
Magandang araw mga bata! Ang asignatura natin ngayon ay Pilipino 5. Ako si Anelia S. Renoblas, ang guro ninyo. Ang aralin natin ngayon ay ang paggamit ng wasto ng mga pangalan at panghalip at pag-uugnay ng sariling karanasan sa napakinggang teksto. Mga bata, ano-ano ba ang kadalasang ginagawa ninyo sa panahon ng walang pasok? Bukod sa paglalaro, kasama ang mga kaibigan, ano pa ang iba pa ninyong ginagawa? Ano-ano ba ang nararanasan natin ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya?
What will happen if you combine or mix solid matter to another solid matter, or solid matter to a liquid matter, and so on? Why it is very important to learn it? It is very important to learn this for our daily activity. Yes, it is very important to learn it. How this mixture is formed. Mixture is formed when two or more substances like water, coffee, and sugar are combined.
Learning materials for the simulation were distributed in the different puroks. To monitor the daily tasks of the grades 4 to 6 learners, parents were encouraged to record a video and to take pictures as evidence for their learning support.
Follow up po sa imong English activity.
Kung the words in the sentence that has similar meaning with the underlined word. My father company.
They were inspirited to assist their children in answering their learning tasks. After a week, class and modules were retrieved and checked by the teachers. After checking and assessing the learners' output, grades 4 to 6 teachers set an appointment with the parents and guardians of those children who needed more assistance and support. The untiring efforts of the teaching staff of Alegria Elementary School greatly helped for the smooth implementation of the simulation for the modular distance learning. Though there were some technicalities encountered, but still the result sufficed the purpose of said simulation despite the catastrophe. The outcomes of the simulation were discussed using the LDM, M&E tool, TA, and coaching plan during our post-conference, wherein we discussed on how to strengthen the effectiveness of modular distance learning while addressing the challenges we experienced during the simulation. We, the staff of Alegria Elementary School, believed that education is fundamental in shaping the future of our children. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad. Thank you and God bless us all.
Coronavirus disease 2019. The killer. Deadly. Pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic threatens not only public health but also the education system. Amid pandemic, the school holds deep its commitment to continue providing quality education to the learners. Even if teaching within the school premises is still not allowed, teachers made adjustments and looked for means to make learning possible despite the current situation. Montecito National High School presents the new of the learning activities and modules. These were returned and checked by the respective subject teachers. Thereafter, feedbacks from the parents related to the distribution of the activity sheets and questions about the modules were taken. The teachers make sure that they constantly communicate to the parents in order to avoid doubts and uncertainties. Post-conference was conducted by the teachers to share ideas and experiences to better serve the stakeholders of the school. Indeed, Montecito National High School. Hashtag Handang Isip. Handa bukas. Sulong edukalidad. DepEd Philippines.
This school year, 2020-2021, senior high school students who are beaming with pride, excitement, and thirst for knowledge are expected to troop to their respective alma mater. However, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, this much anticipated scenario has not been realized. But it didn't dampen the spirit of the Department of Education, led by Secretary Leonor Briones, to draft the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or LCP. Mr. Filimon B. Maglajos, school principal of the Catigbian National High School, spearheaded a Zoom meeting among the senior high school teachers to discuss and disseminate the said LCP for the senior high school department.
Considering that the Catigbian National High School has 17 feather barangays, each teacher was given an assigned barangay to ensure that the plan will be carried out smoothly. Then, the said teachers met with the respective barangay officials to tap their assistance for the learning continuity plan. Hence, at this critical time, solidarity is very much needed. The Catigbian National High School Senior High School Department conducted the enrollment which started on June 1, 2020. To make it safe and secure, the Catigbian National High School followed the guidelines on how to conduct the enrollment as stipulated in the DepEd Order No. 8, Series of 2020. Dropbox and remote means like texts, calls, online and social media platforms are adopted in the enrollment process. In the Dropbox enrollment, the assigned teachers coordinated with the barangay officials in the distribution and retrieval of the Learners Enrollment and Survey Form or LESF. Safety protocols are strictly followed. After the retrieval of the Learner Enrollment and Survey Forms, the Catigbian National High School Senior High School Department enrolled a total of 361 students. And based on the LESF, majority of our enrollees preferred modular distance learning, specifically on the use of printed modules. After the conduct of the inventory of learning resources, the teachers brainstormed for the model class schedule. Then, Mr. Filimon B. Maglahos conducted a Zoom meeting with the senior high school teachers for the implementation of the printed modular learning modality. Majority of the learning activity sheets were downloaded from the Learning Resources Management and Development System, or LRMDS. These learning activity sheets were made by the selected teachers of the Division of Bohol through the School Maintenance and Other Operating Expenses, or the School MOOE, financed the reproduction of the learning activity sheets. These learning activity sheets were based on the respective teacher's weekly plan, which is based on the most essential learning competencies. To expedite the distribution of the learning activity sheets to every student, the teachers followed the following steps. Number 1. The subject teachers printed the learning activity sheets of the respective subjects. Number 2. Class advisors prepared envelope for each student which contained the learning activity sheets in all subjects. Parents' guides and checklists, students' daily activities are also included in the envelopes, after which the said envelopes were sorted by barangay. Number 3. Teachers assigned in each barangay delivered the envelopes to the barangay hall. Number 4. Parents and guardians got the learning activity sheets in the barangay hall. It was made sure that during the production of the learning activity sheets, teachers observed health protocols such as wearing a face mask, disinfecting the respective workplace, observing physical distancing, washing of our hands, and using of alcohol. Moreover, interventions were done to address the students' concerns. We have our official Facebook page named Catigbian National High School Official, where important announcements and relevant information are posted. Contact information of the senior high school teachers are also posted on that Facebook page. The senior high school department also adopted the online distance learning as an alternative to the modular distance learning. The senior high school teachers prepared a Google Classroom for each year level, section, and specific subject for a scheduled day in the week. This is to give the teachers and students a platform for teaching learning check-ups, discussions, and overall feedbacking process. Students can also access missed classes through recorded videos uploaded onto Google Classroom. At home, students studied and answered the learning activity sheets with the guidance of their parents, guardians, or elder siblings. But there are also some students who answered independently. In the retrieval process, after a week, the parents and guardians returned the answered learning activity sheets to the barangay hall. The teacher assigned in that barangay retrieved the learning activity sheets and sorted them by grade level and returned to the class advisors. The class advisors then handed the said sheets to the respective subject teachers for checking. The subject teachers thoroughly checked the learning activity sheets, which were returned to the class advisors in order for these sheets to be given again to the students so they can assess their learning. The learners' outputs assessed by the subject teachers were relayed to their parents through text, call, and social media. With the outcome, Mr. Filimon B. Maglahos met with the subject coordinator and held post-conference to discuss the possible solutions and enhancement of the learning modalities. Upon thorough deliberation, Mr. Filimon B. Maglahos reported the outcomes to the school's district supervisor, Dr. Gemma Ann Ladroma, PhD.
For the opening of classes on October 5, 2020-2021.
Though the modular distance learning may have shortcomings, but generally, it was a success considering that the students continued their learning at home with the support of their family, and everybody was involved to make this an achievable one.
Isip inahan din sa lungsod sa Catigbian, ani ako, dako ka eto suporta para sa ato ang Department of Education, labi na gayud sa ato ang mga kabataan.
Though this pandemic crisis may be far from over, and hope may be hanging by a thread, we would not allow the knowledge of our learners to stagnate. And let us all bear in our mind what Nelson Mandela once said: education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. So let us not allow this weapon to lose its luster, despite this greatest trial in the history of mankind. Hand in hand, the Catigbian National High School joins the DepEd's battle cry: learning must continue, education cannot wait, and this is our greatest challenge.